looking forward to this night since literally last week. And we had an opportunity to bring everybody together. We've got over 250 plus people on here tonight. We scheduled over 417 PBZs. Give yourselves a round of applause. And I promise by the time I'm done talking, you're going to schedule another one. Because my whole goal is to get you from this call onto our regional director call. And I really want you to understand the magnitude of it, of hitting those positions and what they can do, not only for your family, but also for where this business can take you long term. And, talking about regional directors, I want to just take a minute and really acknowledge the Lewis, both Jeff and Jill. You guys have been an inspiration. I love the fact that you kept going. I love the fact that you did what you said you were going to do, and that is a major, major training in itself. And how many of us agree they're excited, right? You can just feel their excitement here tonight. And we're just so, so proud of the both of you. And, that's what this business is all about. See, here's what's so great is, number one, you be hitting a position and then spending your career encouraging other people to hit a position. How many of us agree that's unlike corporate America? See, most people are not excited when you hit a position in corporate America. Most people see that as a threat. Most people see that as you're taking opportunity away from them. But in our business, it's all about creating abundance. And the more people you help, the more success you're going to have. And the fact that we've got 2 new regional directors on here tonight, I just want to take a minute, acknowledge them for all their hard work and all the people that came along with it, the Bill Allen, the Krista Sanborn, the Maria, all the ones that had a part in helping them hit that position. So congratulations again. I also want to bring up a slide to talk about the September 12th. We're going to be doing an ACN leadership event for anybody that is an executive team leader. This is going to be put on by ACN Corporate. You're going to get an opportunity to get poured into by the co-founders of ACN. It's going to start at 12 o'clock. And it's going to go right into 2 p.m. Now, you have to be qualified by Thursday. So that means as long as you're showing executive team leader by Thursday, they're going to shoot you an email. They're going to give you a special code. You're going to jump on a very, very high level training that's going to be done by the co-founders of ACN. And, that brings me into what I want to talk about here tonight. See, there's a couple things that I'm going to share with you here this evening. Number one, I just want you to be present. George brought that up last week, and I'll tell you, that really resonated with me. We're taking time away from our family. We're taking time away from other things. So while we're here, let's be here. Does that make sense? Because here's been my experience is that, because we're using Zoom, yes, Zoom has so many amazing things that come along with it, but it also, can we agree, takes a little bit of the energy away. Meaning, how many of us have watched a football game on TV and went to a football game? Can we agree there's a different energy, right? Can we agree if you're at the football game, you're present? You're right there. You're watching every little bit of it and you're taking in everything that you can take in. And now we don't have that opportunity because of the current situation that we're in. So now we're on the situation where we're using this technology to share ideas and to be able to grow organizations and grow big customer bases. But we know not being with each other sometimes takes away a little bit of that energy. So we've got to pay even closer attention when we're doing these type of events so that you don't miss out on some great information, life-changing information. And I say that because, that's what ACN has done for our family. I mean, you're talking about changed our entire family, this opportunity. And look, we've all probably grown up in the same situation. All of my friends were average. My relatives were average. I went to school and I was being taught by average people. And so that is called influence. You're getting influenced by your surrounding. And so when ACN came into my life, just like it came into yours, it started to radically change the way that I looked at things. All of a sudden, I wasn't looking for paychecks. I was looking for profits. All of a sudden, concepts of the wealthy were brought into my life that were foreign than anything I had ever heard before. See, when they talked about what wealthy people do, first of which there's a very small amount of people in the world that I think, can agree are wealthy. And I'm not just talking financially. I'm talking about rich in relationships. I'm talking rich in personal development. I'm talking about making an impact. Look, anybody can make money, but everybody's not making a difference, yes or no? And when ACN came into my life, what it did is all of a sudden opened my mind up to there's another way of you can live your life. And it's probably going to be a lot different than most people you and I know. But it's going to take you to change the way that you think. It's going to take you to change the way you look at things. See, the first thing I realized is that in order for me to become free, and when I mean free from the restraints of what does things cost, or free from I got to call and ask permission, or free from, can I take a day off or spend a minute with my family? I'm talking about freedom. And so when ACN came in, they talked about business ownership. And guess what, guys? This is a business. And it's a $199 business. And let me tell you something, for $199, you can make as much money as you want to make. And so let's start there. When, Lisa talked about the compensation plan, the part that resonated with me? Unlimited. Unlimited. Do you realize if we got together tonight and we bought a hotel, that would be called limited income? Meaning every room was rented, everybody ate at the restaurant. Well, we could financially calculate how much money we can make. Do you realize in this opportunity, it is unlimited? You can make as much money as you decide that you want to make. So for the first time in your life, you are now in control of how much money you can go out and make. Number two, the only way anybody has ever became successful is the efforts of other people. And see, that's why it's a little foreign to us when we get involved in ACN and we talk about building teams and, oh boy, I don't know about building a team, because we're socially conditioned to work for other people. 13,000 hours, kindergarten to 12th grade. We all 13,000 hours of school. When did they teach us the tax system? When did they talk about business ownership? Do you realize that we've been conditioned from kindergarten to 12th grade to think a certain way? And all of a sudden they get involved in ACN and they talk about business ownership. They talk about all the tax advantages business ownership gets. They talk about building teams and leveraging yourself on the efforts of other people. Look, nobody would know who Jeff Bezos was if he had 5 employees. Nobody would know who McDonald's were if they had 7 stores. So you got to understand that the only road to wealth is going to be through building a team. And so what ACN says is, look, you can now get in the big leagues of making money because you can go build distribution. And you can invite as many people as you want to do this. And here's what's exciting about our opportunity. We get paid residual income. Now, do you realize that most businesses in America, 99.9% of them do not make any residual income? And anybody that does make residual income, can we agree they don't want to give you and I any of it? Right? They're not interested in giving you any of their residual income. They like to keep that for themselves. Look at the companies that make all the money. What's the biggest buildings in your town? Banks and insurance companies. Now, can we agree the bank is going to give you any of their residual income? Matter of fact, they're going to charge you money to take your money out of their bank. Anybody ever figured that one out? And so when you take a look at an opportunity, they're giving you all of the wealth principles that everybody that's wealthy is utilizing. Because it's foreign to us. That's why I had to come training after training after training after training after training after training, because I had to change the way that I was thinking. And remember, I had the gravitational pull of average being pulled down on me, just like some of you, because we're influenced by our environment. And so the first thing my mentor said, and I love when we talk about paying attention. Why do I like that word, paying attention? Because pay attention to wealthy people and what they're doing to become wealthy. See, I didn't have access to those type of people until I walked into ACN. And all of a sudden they said things like, start paying attention. Look at your surroundings. Who has your keyboard to your mind? Who's programming you? What's the books that you're reading? What's the audios you're listening to? Who are you spending time with? See, my mentors told me, he said, show me your friends and I'll show you your future. Now, here's what ACN did. It brought me a whole nother group of people to spend some time with. Why? Because can we agree, we can all talk about things here together that most people wouldn't understand. Most people are saying things like, are you going to another meeting on Friday night? Oh, why don't you come see us at happy hour? Well, because I want to have a happy life and not a happy hour. How about you? Little different than what most people think, yes or no? So when you think about the keyboard of your mind, you're giving that keyboard of your mind in the hands of other people. And so we didn't have a choice when we were young. Can we agree with that? That programming was going to take place, and a lot of us didn't have a choice with how we were going to be programmed, and what we were supposed to do and the way we were supposed to think and all the things that all of us were brought up. But now we're adults and we have a choice. Now we have a choice to say, and how big and how far. But the first thing you got to do is you got to remember it's all about the way you think. And so when they talked about pay attention to what you're reading. Pay attention to what you're listening to in your car. All the things that all of us need to do to be successful is right in front of us, but we got to pay attention. And it's some of the hardest things for us to do, yes or no. See, what I find is coachability is a little difficult. I'm uncomfortable doing these things. Well, listen, you'd be uncomfortable right now if you got into a private plane too, because you've never been in one. How many of us agree? It'd be a little uncomfortable if you got in a $25 million jet. You'd say, wow, this is a little uncomfortable. But how many of us could get comfortable with it over time? See, that's what you're going to find in our business is you've got the access to people that can take you to wherever you want to go, but you got to, number one, you got to plug in. Number two is excitement. How many of us notice that people are excited? Patrick Miller, how many of us notice he's excited? Right? He's excited. Lisa, she's excited. Jill and Jeff, they're excited. Excitement is something you got to bring to this opportunity because look, let me tell you what I was excited about. The future. Not today. I'm not thinking about today. Why are people depressed today? Because they're worried about today and not focused on the future. See, in the Bible, in the good book, and I'm no pastor, but I will tell you what it says. It says, without a vision, they will perish. Without a vision. That means no dreams, no goals. Where are you going to be in 5 years? I don't know, but most people will tell you where they're going to be on vacation on Monday. Ask the average American, where are you going to be on Monday? Oh, I can't wait. I'm going to go camping. I'm going to do, and there's nothing wrong with those things if you want to be average. See, that's what average people do. But I'm not talking to a bunch of average people here tonight. I'm talking to a bunch of exceptional people here tonight that want to radically change their life, because I know you wouldn't be on here tonight unless there was a seed of greatness deep inside of you somewhere. And you just needed the right fertilization and the right soil in order for that seed to grow. See, a great seed in bad soil will never grow, yes or no? You could take the most talented human being and stick them in the wrong environment, and they're never going to be anything but the people they're spending time with. See, all of us have some great seeds in us, and what ACN does is allow those seeds to develop. Now, is it always easy when it comes to developing? There's always going to be those challenges. I think about the caterpillar. If you ever see a caterpillar, when it comes out and becomes a butterfly, that it has to go through the struggle. And I read a book one time, and they talked about how a little boy thought he was helping the caterpillar out, helping it become a butterfly, because it was struggling to get out of that cocoon and to help that butterfly and to be assistant to that butterfly. He took a pair of scissors and he cut the cocoon thinking it was going to help the butterfly. And the butterfly fell out of that cocoon and never flew. See, it was only through the struggle did all of the blood go completely through the entire wings of that butterfly. So it had to struggle in order to fly. And so if you're on here to fly and you're on here to do something special, you're going to go through the struggle. And the struggle isn't financial. How many of us would agree with that? See, there's some business owners in the world we live in right now. They got a financial gun to their head, where they've got a $10,000 and $20,000 a month overhead that they got to cover, and customers aren't coming through the door, and there's probably a good chance that they might not in the next 90 days, and they might not be in business. See, we don't have that kind of struggle here today. See, God has taken that struggle away from us, meaning this isn't a situation where any single one of you are going to lose your house over $199 and a $25 a month business support fee. And if you are going to lose your house over that, you were going to lose it anyway, yes or no? It wasn't ACN's $25 a month. So we know that you got to go through the growth. In order to go to the top, you got to grow to the top. And so that excitement is something that you got to muster up even when you don't want to be excited. I remember my mentor said, he said, Patrick, a child gets excited when things are going their way. A child gets excited when somebody says yes to ID Seal. A child gets excited when they said, can I please join your team? But let me tell you where a champion lives, where the only thing there is to be excited about is the fact that you got to be excited. When people are telling you no, When your family's telling you, what do you think? You know, when friends are telling you not another meeting. See, all of those things we've got to go through because we're going to go be somebody they're not. And when you're going to go to some place nobody else has been in your family, you're going to do some things that they've never done before. So can we agree they're probably not going to understand a lot of the things that you and I are going to go through? A lot of the dedications. Now, here's what I find about winning. When you win, everybody's a fan. Everybody's a fan. Look, I've watched NFL teams win and went to cities that those teams didn't even play and watched people wear the jersey. And I'm like, when have you been a fan of that team? Well, I've been a fan now that they won. See, everybody becomes a fan when you win. But here's what I want you to take down is, number one, you got to pay attention. That's why I took notes every time I came to these events. I recorded. Look, I listened to George Alaki's Profile as Champion. I am telling you 10,000 times. Why? Because I wanted to be where he was. I saw myself in him. I wanted to impact people like he did. See, here's what I always thought to myself. What's the last chapter of your life going to look like? Now, we've all been to an old age home. How many of you been to an old age home? Breaks your heart, isn't it? How many of you ever going in there and people go, you look like my nephew. You look like my daughter. Hey, would you give me another minute? They're just in the halls and we're all saying, what? We don't got any time. Look, I got other things to do. I got to go. And so when I see George at the age that he's at, and all of us are saying what? We want another minute of your time. George, don't go. Give us some more of your time. Yes or no? How many of us want to pour out to people till the last breath in our lungs? How many of us want to make a difference to anybody we can make a difference to until the very end of our life? And that's the opportunity you have here today, because what ACN is going to give you is called wisdom. You're going to become great with people. You can't get in this business and go to the top unless you're great with people. See, there's no isms here. There's no sexism here. Do you realize that women are winning in ACN? So are men. There's no racism here. We don't care if you've been to high school or college or dropped out of the 3rd grade. You know, I love the fact that, you know, I meet people and they go, I didn't have a high school diploma or college degree. It doesn't matter at ACN. We do not care. The only thing we want to know is where you're going. So when that excitement comes, let me tell you something. When people tell you no and, hey, I'm not interested, the champion gets excited about the no. The amateur gets affected by the opinions of other people. Now, when you talk about, you know, going through the numbers and doing what we need to do, see, what I saw in ACN is I just got to talk to some people. And I thought about this like looking for pearls as you open up some oysters. And let's say that your whole job was, we're going to give you buckets and buckets of oysters. And every pearl that you find, we're going to pay you $50,000 a pearl. Now, let's say you started opening up oysters and all of a sudden the first one you open up and there wasn't a pearl in it. How many of you would hold the oyster together and say, well, it looked like you could have a pearl inside of you. Let me just put you in my pocket and carry you around and talk motivational to you. Or would we throw that over our shoulder and go into that next bucket and find that next oyster and open up that next oyster looking for the pearls? Now, let me tell you what champions do. They talk about the pearls, not all the oysters they had to open up to get them. See, I don't want to hear about the no's. We're all going to get some. How many oysters you think you got to open up to find yourself a pearl? Probably a lot. But when you get that pearl, when you find that MD Ramen, see, when you find that Harsh Patel, when you find that Billy Lithigan, when you find that Michael Eric, how many of us agree? I'm not talking about the people that said no. I'm talking about the pearls that said yes. So you want to focus on what you're looking for, not all the stuff you got to go through to get it. See, what amateurs do is they talk about, I had to talk to 10 people. I had to talk to 20 people. How many of you would talk to 200 people if you found an Alejandra County? How many of us would be okay with that? I would say, listen, I don't even remember what the last 199 people said, but I remember when she said yes. And she brought 11,000 customers right along with her, and she's on her way to go put another 100,000 customers behind those. How many of us agree? You forget about the no's at that point. You forget about the people that weren't interested. So focus on what you want, not on what you don't want. We're all going to run into that. I'm not interested. And here's why. Social conditioning. They've been socially conditioned to think the way that they're thinking. Look, if they knew by paying $199 that they could start a business and get every tax benefit every business owner in America has, every single person would sign up. But because they don't understand those things and you don't have enough time in your life to explain it to them, you only have time to find the people that understand it. Didn't have to convince Rick Cordero. Didn't have to tell him about business ownership. He was a business owner. You know what I loved about Lisa doing the poll is because you look at all the people that are business owners, we know the advantages of the tax system. We understand the deductions that you and I get to take based on it being a home-based business. So when you think about the opportunity of sorting through people, look, that's our entire job. And what I love so much about ACN is you don't have to do it alone. See, every single one of you can schedule a Zoom for Saturday afternoon, and you can start making phone calls and start texting people and start getting them on a Zoom and say, I want to show you something I'm excited about. What's it all about? Sounds like you're interested. I'll see you at 3 o'clock. And have you ever used Zoom before? That's it. And allow for your coaches to go to work for you. Mike and I can remember like yesterday, Danny Volanino said, I will not do your meeting unless you have 20 people in your living room. Now, let me tell you, we had 20 people now. Now, I counted my grandma. I counted my aunt. I counted my neighbor. You know what I mean? Like, I just put 20 people, even though probably 5 of the 20 were just you filling a seat. But I wanted his attention because I didn't want to do the presentation. I didn't want to be the one explaining. I thought to myself, if I just invite and sit back and allow him to build my income because he's had success, and the way I looked at it, he's going to build somebody's check. Why not my check? See, your upline is going to help somebody win. Why not you? And the only thing they need for you to do is invite. How many of us agree we got a great job? Our job is just to invite. We don't have to explain. We don't have to answer questions. We just got to become great at inviting. But here's the problem. We've been conditioned to do it all ourselves. How many of you grew up in a family that said, we don't pay people to do those things, we do them ourselves? How many of you, look, we don't pay someone to cut the grass, we cut the grass ourselves. We don't pay someone to change the oil, we change the oil ourselves. We don't pay someone to clean the house, we clean the house ourselves. See, that's called social conditioning. See, people that are successful understand delegation. See, I don't have to know what my lawyer knows, that's their job. I don't have to know what my accountant knows, that's their job. I don't have to be the best presenter in ACN, that's my upline's job. I just got to get great at what? Inviting. And that's it. And whoever invites the most makes the most. How many of you love that idea? All you have to do is get excited and invite. See, but we're in a very unique situation because tonight we're excited. You're going to get off this call tonight and good luck sleeping. Some of you guys are going to be laying in bed and you're going to be sitting there thinking, I found it. This is it. God, I knew this was what I've been looking for. But are you going to take action tomorrow? See, are you just going to allow the, as George said, the motivation that we know is very, very temporary, or the discipline of your reason why for doing it? You know, one thing that Jill said, and I can't agree with you more, is pray you never quit. See, if you want to be a doctor and you drop out of medical school the 3rd year, you're never going to be a doctor because you quit. You want to be an accountant, you drop out of accounting school the 2nd year, you're never going to be an accountant because you quit. You want to be a professional athlete and you decide not to go to practice because it's inconvenient, you're never going to be a professional athlete because you quit. See, the only people that do not win in ACN are the ones that quit. Every single success story in our company had one thing in common. They never quit. Look, when Melissa Street spoke last week, how many of you here got something out of Melissa? When she said, look, I had to believe in myself. I had to see more in myself. I had to become the person. See, she became the person. She wasn't the person when she signed up, nor was I, nor are you. We're going to go through the process as we would to be a doctor. I mean, could you imagine going into medical school the first day and expecting to be a doctor, or the first year, or the 2nd year, or the 3rd year? Do you realize that most professions for you to become great at require a lot of time and a lot of money? This is the only one that we're not asking you to pay every time you do it. Matter of fact, we'll mentor you for free. Matter of fact, we'll coach you for free. All you got to do is show up and pay attention and get excited about where you're going. As long as you can do those things, you can go as far as you want to go. But what's going to require? It's going to require a big dream, because without a big dream, you won't bring a big commitment. Now, Zoom has made this business unbelievable for us, because no longer are you restricted by your zip code. No longer do you have the excuse, well, I don't have a lot of people in my town. Look, I'm on LinkedIn right now, and you know what I see on LinkedIn? Open for opportunity. I'm literally reading people's captions that says looking for opportunity, that people have ready for work. How many of you saw that on LinkedIn? These are people we don't even know. And you know what they have on their LinkedIn account? Looking for opportunity, open for work. See, there are so many people in front of us, but we got to bring a big commitment. And what a big commitment says is that I'm going to do the thing that I'm supposed to do, even when I don't feel like doing it. The consistent person will always win. It's not the fastest person, it's the consistent person. Look, I watched Michael Eric become the guy that he is today. Man, I remember driving up, doing presentation. Mike, I remember being in your living room. I remember 2, 3 people. You had your chairs all laid out, right? I remember you going down to trainings in Manhattan by yourself to go see Rick and Mara and the leadership. And the only guest he has was himself. And now we celebrate him, and he's a number 2 guy, and all of us are so excited about the celebration. But what you didn't see is the weeks and the months that he had to go to training by himself to prepare himself for when the opportunity is created. See, it's when preparation meets opportunity, that's where success lives. And you know, here's what I think to myself is, look, we're all going to be known for something. We're all going to be known for something, right? If I say Michael Jordan, what do you think? If I say Tiger Woods, what do you think? You're not confused what they're known for, yes or no? And I'm sure if you spend a couple minutes with any of them, do you think the conversation would probably go back to golf? Or the conversation would probably go back to basketball? Because that's what they're about. You know, there's no denying. You don't want to talk about golf, don't go sit at Tiger's table. If you don't want to talk about basketball, don't go hang out with Michael, because he's so into it, he's buying a team. That's how so into that sport he's into. So when I say you, what's your brand? What are you known for? See, I'm thinking to myself, I'm the opportunity person. I'm the one that'll bring you an opportunity. And that's a very rare thing to find in the world we live, yes or no? Easy to get rich in the world if you're rich already. People go, how do you make $1 million? Bring 5 with you. How many of us agree? Yeah, easy to make $1 million. You already have 5. But what if you don't have 5? You're very limited on what you can do, yes or no? You're very limited. You know, I don't care if you're from Canada or France or Germany or the United States. See, it's all the same around the world. It's easy to live a great lifestyle anywhere in the world if you have money, yes or no? But if you don't have money, it doesn't matter where you're at, because you're doing the same thing everybody else is doing. Waking up, check to check, right? Having a little celebration once in a while on the weekends, and, you know, and that's basically about it. You know, we've got something special in our hands. And this opportunity to use Zoom to build a business around the world has been such a game changer for us. I've never been more excited to do meetings. I've never been more excited for people to say, will you do a testimonial on a Zoom? I can't wait to do a testimonial. I can't wait to jump on a Zoom, because I know we can affect a lot of people using this technology. But it's only going to matter for the ones that take advantage of it. So I hope tonight you're making some decisions. You know, Jeff Lewis said that earlier this evening. I made a decision. That's all it is. It's all it is, a decision. I will do the thing until I succeed. And here's the way I look at it. I would rather hang out with you guys, read some books, become a better trainer, become a better leader, share the gift with people than doing anything else outside of hanging out with my family, yes or no? That's it. I don't want to watch a bunch of other people live their dreams on television. I don't want to be in the fans clapping for a bunch of other people that were willing to pay a price. I wanted to be on the floor with the rest of those players, yes or no? And you're in the game here at ACN, and we got a big opportunity in front of us. We just got to bring a big commitment. You know, I think about what Jesus said to his team before he let them go out 2 by 2. He said, look, every door is not going to be of your accord. Shake the sand out of your sandal. Now, what did he mean by that? He meant shake the negativity out of your sandal. Now, back then, the reason he said sand is sand's probably the smallest thing you could talk about back then, yes or no? And he said, listen, that piece of sand, see, here's what I believe is going to rub a hole in your sole of your foot if you don't shake it off. And back then, if you got an infection, there wasn't penicillin. They cut your leg off. Matter of fact, some people died of an infection. So what does that mean? That means, look, everybody's not going to want to hear what we have to do. I tell people straight out, ACN isn't for everybody. The services are, but the opportunity isn't. And I'm a big enough person to realize everybody's not going to do what we do. And you know what stops most people? Fear. That's why when they go to the last couple hours of life, you know what people say? I should have done this, and I should have done that. You know why? Because fear has left them. All of a sudden, they're not afraid anymore when they're facing their mortality. See, we got an opportunity here tonight to go out and bless a lot of people, but we got to lead by example. And let me tell you what ACN is. 10% knowledge and 90% courage. That's all it is. You got to have the courage to go out there. You got to have the courage to pick up the phone. It's not what you say. It's just picking up the phone and saying something. It's not who you talk to. It's just talking to somebody. If you have the courage to go out and do what's necessary, let me tell you something. You're going to live a life of a champion. And for those of you who have children, you are your children's heroes. That's why I could never imagine quitting ACN if I had kids. Because what am I teaching them? Don't do as I do. Do something else. How many of us agree they are going to learn from us? We are programming them with the little keyboard that we have for their little minds, and we're putting all that data into their little minds of the way you're supposed to act. So guys, I believe tonight was probably one of the greatest trainings we've ever had a chance to be a part of, to get a chance to hear from some amazing individuals, to get a chance to learn a system that can teach you how to become financially free, and to be around a bunch of people that will encourage you and me every single step of the way. Look, when you're down, call the people above you. When you're up, call the people below you. Does that make sense? If you're in a good mood, call everybody in your team. If you got a customer, call everybody in your team. If you got a rep, call everybody in your team. But if you get a big gut punch, don't call your team, call the people above you. Matter of fact, you can call any of these regional vice presidents. You can cry on our shoulders. You can tell us how tough it is, and we'll even listen. Don't worry, we won't quit though. We won't quit no matter how bad it is. Does that make sense? We'll just be okay. It's all right. We're going to get through it together, right? Right? You'll be okay, right? Clean those tears off, get that dream back out, pull those big boy pants on, and let's get out there and talk to some people. And let's go out and make a difference together as an organization. You know, I just want to end with one thing, and this is in the book Think and Grow Rich. And for those of you that have read it, I highly recommend continue to read it. You know, it's what you put in your head. You know, I meditate every day. I put good stuff in my brain every day because I know bad stuff's going to come in my brain without me doing anything. Good stuff, you got to deliberately go out and put good stuff in your head, yes or no? See, here's what I know about life. Rust comes without doing anything. Weeds come without doing anything. See, the negativity comes without doing anything. See, we got to pull the negative weeds out of our brain every single day. And here's what it said. It says some things that you need to be successful. Number one, unwavering courage. See, you can't have anybody follow you if you don't have unwavering courage. If you're not out there saying, look, and I will do whatever it takes, you can follow me, you can count on me, you can set your watch to me, I am going to be there for you. And I love what Michael Eric said, you got to love on your people. See, you know how I know I can recruit anyone? Because I'm never going to quit. And no one's ever going to call me up and say, well, Pat, you weren't there for me, because I'm going to be there for every single person for the rest of my life. So they're never going to say I didn't have support. Can we agree anybody could jump on here tonight? So no one's ever going to say, hey, you didn't help me. I know we're going to help you. It's going to be on them, not us. You know, number two is self-control. That's what I talk about. You know, you got to set the example. You got to have the discipline. You know, you got to lead your team by your actions on a daily basis. You know, you have to have a defined decision. You've got to make that decision of where you want to go. And I'm telling you, it's going to take some time, but who cares? We all have time, yes or no? Nobody became a doctor overnight. Michael Jordan didn't become the best in the industry overnight, and you're not going to be an SVP overnight. It's going to take you some time, and be okay with it taking some time. You got to be ready for it when it happens. You know, you got to make a plan. Look, if you don't have Zooms booked this week, if you don't have, you know, commitments made of things that you're going to do this week, no one's going to make you do them. You got to become your own boss. That's why I love people that say, look, Patrick, I'm doing a Zoom on Thursday, I'm doing a Zoom on Friday, and I'm going to get people on it because I'm making a commitment to do it. See, you've got to have that boss mentality for yourself. I'm going to do the work that I know I have to go do. I got to set my priorities different than maybe I have in the past. You know, when you think about the habit of doing more than you're paid for. See, Mike and I, we made a little bit of money in ACN when we started. We did a whole bunch of work for a little bit of money. I remember people used to say, how much money are you making? You know what I used to tell them? You wouldn't believe me if I told you. What does that mean? I mean, you wouldn't believe I worked this hard for this little. You wouldn't believe I ran around like a crazy person for just a little bit of money. See, because what I understood is that it's not about today. It's about where I'm going to be 10 years from today. People that ask me how much I'm making, see, they had a check-to-check mentality, yes or no. See, the reality was, I was like, look, you wouldn't believe me. Now, they always assumed that meant I made a lot of money because I always looked like I made a lot of money. Why? Because I carried myself like I made a lot of money. but I didn't make a lot of money. And in the end, you do a little work to make a lot of money. In the beginning, you do a lot of work to make a little bit of money. In the end, you do a little bit of work to make a lot of money. See, that's the way wealth works, because you're dealing in multiplication, not addition. Everybody else is dealing in addition. 5% raise a year, 2% raise a year. ACN is multiplication. 2 getting 2 is 4, 4 getting 2 is 8, 8 getting 2 is 16, 16 getting 2 is 32. So that's called multiplication. Wealthy people use multiplication to make money, yes or no? Jeff Bezos is multiplying his wealth. Can we agree with that statement? He's multiplying. He's not doing addition. He isn't growing by 2 or 3%. He's multiplying. And that's what you got your opportunity here for. But you got to have a great personality. Look, you've never met somebody who made millions of dollars that didn't have $1 million personality, where they had a smile on their face, where they got down to wherever that person is and they talked to them where they are and took them to where they want to go. You know, it's not about talking down to people. It's about getting down with people. It's about being able to say, hey, look, I know where you're coming from. I've been there myself. I can remember not having a lot of money myself. I can remember eating ramen noodles myself. You got to become a great personality. If you have never read the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, I recommend reading that book. How to Win Friends and Influence People, man. That is the Bible when it comes to dealing with people. You got to become a great human being. And it's not about what you can get. It's about what you can give. You know, when George said that last week, it's about the compliment, or maybe I can recommend a book, or maybe I can send you an audio, or maybe I can shoot you over a website. Whether you do ACN is irrelevant. I'm just here to help whoever I can in any way that I can, because if I put enough good out, good's going to come back, yes or no? See, you know, here's what I found. You got to give before you receive. You got to give before you receive. See, most people are looking to receive before they give. You got to develop that personality. Now, you got to be sympathetic and understanding. Look, some people are going to cry on your shoulders, and some people don't have any shoulders to cry on, and that's okay. That's what we're here for. Hey, listen, we've all had challenges. The one thing we all have in common here tonight is problems, yes or no? Problem. I could start here at the first person on this Zoom and go to the last person and say, how many of you have problems? How many of us would say we all have problems? See, we can all relate to problems, yes or no? We all can't relate to success, but we can all relate to problems. You know, when you think about the willingness to assume full responsibility, it's a big one there. The willingness to assume full responsibility. And a leader knows how to make people cooperate. A leader knows how to bring people together, not blow them apart. A leader knows how to see the strength in people, not the weakness in people, to point out the good parts and not the bad parts. So, you know, tonight I couldn't wait to get on here with all of you. I am so excited about the future here together. We're going to do this every week, and we're going to bring somebody on every week that's going to give you a message at the end that you should be paying tens of thousands of dollars for, because it's going to be that good. And they're going to give you the best that they've got, and we're going to make it our commitment. The leadership team of this organization is 100% committed to giving you all that they've got. We know this is a season. We know it's a special season. We know home-based business went from obscurity in 2019 to at the very top of the food chain in 2020. Do you realize in 2019, you said a home-based business, people probably said, oh, one of those. In 2020, it's like, wow, you can work from home. You can work remotely. You can do anything you want to do. Do you realize where we're at right now? This is a slingshot, folks. I am talking about you're hitting something at a time in history that people went to their grave in network marketing and never got a chance to do a Zoom. Some of the greatest people in network marketing had to go living room to living room, town to town, country to country in order to build their empire, and not one of you ever will. You'll never have to do it. You can do it right online. So, you know, on the 26th, we're going to have a national convention, the first national convention we're going to put on, an ACN virtual national convention. Now, here's what I know about events. How many of you wish you had more people on the call here tonight? How many of us wish you would have promoted a little harder? How many of us wish you would have told a couple more people, man, you got to get on. We're doing something special. There's something big happening here. We got a movement that's being created. This is a mission. These people are not just playing. These people are out there making a difference. You got to see what they're doing. And I'm telling you what, you get them on here, you get them CQ, you get a Zoom out of them, and you bring them on these Friday night leaderships. I promise you, they're not sleeping Friday night. And it's not because of partying. It's because of dreaming. Because we're going to get them dreaming. And we're going to show them there's something great inside of them because they ran into us, yes or no. We're going to 20,000 reps a month, folks, and you're going to play a big, big part of it. And some of you won't even imagine where you're going to be. Mike and I can't, we giggle. We can't even believe where we're at right now. I mean, we see what's happened in just 5 years and 6 years. It's like the way we thought 5 years ago and the way we think now, it's like two different people, and you're going to be right there with us. I promise you, in 5 years from now, you're going to see things that you thought were a big deal 5 years ago, and 5 years later, you're going to think, man, I was a child thinking the way I was thinking. So let's do something great together. Melissa, do we got that flyer? Let's put that flyer up so people can see, you know, this event that we've got planning for. I want it to be in your calendars. I want you guys to prepare for it. And we're going to show you what our national convention videos, for those of you who've been to one of our conventions, you know how much fun they are. You know how much excitement we have. You know, I know the Potters here, look, we like to have a good time. I mean, we're a team that plays together, and we're a team that prays together. And I want you to make sure you write this all down. This is the 26th day of September. We're going to make history. The first time ever. You're the first people in ACN's 28-year history to ever be a part of a virtual event that we're going to be hosting. And I'm telling you, the Rockstar team, that's the team you're on here tonight, we are going to fill that event. And you got an opportunity to be a part of it. And I don't want to see any of you guys miss out on the excitement. So we're going to give you a taste of what our national convention's like, and then we're going to end the evening for everybody, give you a chance if you want to share something. We're going to unmute the lines here at the end for anybody who wants to hang out and share something they might have got out of this evening. But Melissa, thanks for all you do, and maybe you can run the video.
This could be the weekend of dramatic change for you.
These events will be your greatest tools in allowing people to see the big picture of ACN.
So many great things are going to happen.
How many of you guys are excited about ACN right now? Right now is the absolute best time in ACN's history.
Right now is a time to make a difference.
You could be the biggest success story that inspires tens of thousands of people around the world.
How many people are excited right now?
And who's going to step up and say, this is mine, and I'm going to take it? We're in this game to win. That's all there is to it. And we're going to win, and you have to have that same attitude.
You know, over the last 5 years, we have generated over $4 billion of revenue.
Are we afraid of competition? We have no competition. There is no other company like ACN.
Every single one of you were born with the seed of greatness within you. You can be a blessing to so many others.
We have grown to be the largest direct seller of telecommunications and energy services and essential home services in the entire world.
This business and not get involved, they gotta be crazy. I don't get it. Go live your dream. That's why we created ACN.
I think that you are right at the very top of all the direct marketing companies in the world. You know that, don't you?
This is a great time to be in an organization like this.
We came here to change our lives, change our future, change our world.
Nobody has the right to define you but you.
The ACN business is crucial, not just for yourselves, not just for your friends, but for this country and for the world.
Think about that thing that used to be a should, and now is a must.
I would never ever tell you I hope you do great things with your life. I'm expecting it.
When you get to the end of your life, you're going to be able to say, I made a difference. And that's what it's all about.
I will see you, and yes, I really do mean you. Not just at the top, I'm going to see you over the top.
You got it. It's here. It's laying at your front door. Quit praying. It's here. The opportunity is here.
What more could you want than this?
Are you ready to make a difference? You need to start living the life that you deserve right now.
Change your life.
Awesome, awesome. Well, guys, that concludes our evening. You get a feeling of those events, and we're going back to those events. But before we do, we're going to do the virtual events before we can get together. But can you imagine what it's going to be like when you can bring your people to a stadium full of us together, and we can bring that excitement and that vision and that passion all together? It's going to be over the top, I promise you here. So thank you guys so much for coming out here tonight. Thank you for giving me some time. We're going to do this again next week. Make sure you put it in your calendar. And for anybody that wants to hang out afterwards, we'll stay on a couple minutes if any of you guys like to share or say anything that's on your heart. You know, also we want to send our condolences to you, Dave, and Mary Ann, you know, for your lost his father. And you know, we love you, buddy. You know, he's actually looking down, seeing what you're doing, and I know what you're going to continue to do. So we really, really appreciate both your leadership. So that concludes everything for here this evening. We'll hang out a little bit afterwards. God bless you guys, and can't wait till next week. Can't wait for this
20,000 reps a month.
You speak it, Denise. Speak it. Absolutely.
That's right.
God bless. Thank you.
Well said.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. But hey, Joyce.
Hey,
Thank you.
God bless you, Patrick.
Good job, Tina. Great seeing you.
Oh, Patrick, this is really very.
Thank you, Patrick.
Bye, y'all.
Awesome.
Have a blessed night.
Have a great time.
Bless everybody. God bless you.
Fantastic presentation.
Yes.
I really appreciate that.
Yes, indeed.
Doing some great stuff together.
Mr. Patrick.
Mr. Patrick,
I'm here.
this is Mr. Serge.
Hey.
I've been blaming most of my people, my IBOs that have not become CQs. But I realized afterwards I should have been blaming myself for not helping them getting there.
Big lesson.
You know, I've been getting really discouraged because of that. For the past 3 weeks, I mean, basically a month, I've had 19 personal customer points, and I still have the same thing. And I realized that it's time for me to take off. To focus and
Serge, taking responsibility is a big step in success, and thank you for sharing something publicly here. We believe in you, my friend.
Yes.
Regional director, so thank you for sharing.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Awesome. Well,
Thank you, Patrick. You've been amazing.
Gloria.
Good night. God bless you.
Top ETL with PBZs last week, Miss Gloria. You inspire all of us here.
I'm going to tell you, Patrick, you hit a nerve. You really did. It was powerful, and I took notes, and it really, honestly, has been amazing. Thank you so much for what you do and what you pour into us. God bless you.
I can't wait for your trainings, Gloria. I'm going to be sitting front row with my notebook out. I'm looking forward to that day.
God bless you.
He's just going to be a master. Be talking with you, Gloria.
Oh,
Mhm.
It's easy.
I said, I'm going to take notes in your meeting. I can't wait for your training.
I'll do it in Spanish for you.
Excelente.
Yes, gracias. Good night. God bless. Good night, Dorothy.
Good night.
Awesome.
Good night, everyone.
Tell
Sweet dreams.
It's the first time I've come. I really enjoyed it, and I'll be coming and bringing other people. Thank you so much.
Awesome, Charlotte. Welcome to the family. Good to have you here.
Great to be there.
one last time.
Down to.
And my brother, Patrick. Patrick.
D. Wilson, my roommate from 15 years ago. How are you, buddy?
Did you write that
I think
down?
we lost him.
Yeah. Good night.
Good night.
Mr. Mazer,
There he is. Joel.
unwavering courage.
I told you that.
This is unbelievable, and it's against everything that we have been trained to think. And what you share about today, just you did a phenomenal job of teaching and pouring into us. I remember you speaking with this kind of passion for those of us that been in the national convention in front of 20,000 people, and we are spoiled sitting here comfortable in our house and just getting poured by you. And this is a privilege for all of us to have you in our life. But the courage that it takes to not quit, the courage that it takes to stay in the game, the courage that it takes to be in the face of the no's. And as Julie said earlier today, just I pray that you will not quit. And this is so true. And people quit on themselves all their life and all the time. And why we would think that they will not quit on themselves in this business? Now, the difference is that people quitting on themselves, on their life, but they are so accustomed to be in their routine of getting up in the morning and going to work. I remember when we were driving to Friday Night Leadership, and for me to get to Friday night at 5 o'clock, I had to leave my house at 3:30. And my friends will call me and say, hey, where are you going? I say, I'm going to leadership. I say, again? And I say, yes. And they say, didn't you have enough? I say, what are you doing Monday morning? I say, going to work. I say, again, didn't you have enough? But it's the courage, because for them, what we do, it's not normal. For me, waking up in the morning on Monday morning and Tuesday morning and again and again and again for 30 years, it's take courage to do that. But what you brought to us, it's really focusing on the courage it takes to be successful in this business. It's just courage to be in face of when things don't work, when things don't happen, when nothing happens, when people making comments about what we're doing, whatever it is, makes no difference. Or even when things going great, and then say, hey, great, that's it. I will be RVP next week, and then nothing happened after that. Whatever happened, just stay with the courage of keep moving. So I'm so thankful for having you in my life, and I'm sure that I'm speaking in most people over here. Just we are privileged to have somebody like you in our life. This is not common, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Joel. And thank you for your leadership, and that's why you're regional director, and excited about our big future here together.
I love you, brother.
Love you too, my man. Thank you. Well, guys, I think it's been a special night, and just excited about the future we all have here together, and what we're going to do, and the differences that we're going to make, and the encouragement we're going to be to other people. Only through an example can we ever encourage anyone, is only through an example. So let's go out and be that example. Tomorrow's Saturday. Let's wake some people up and put them on some Zooms on Saturday. We got a big training on Saturday at 7 p.m. Make sure you go to the ACN Rockstar team page and make a comment. Let people know we got something special on our hands. And for both Jeff and Jill, again, thank you for your leadership, guys. We're so proud of the two of you. And I love the passion with the ID Seal, Jeff. That was,
Thanks,
that
Patrick.
touched the
Thank
chord
you
of my
very
soul.
much.
Appreciate you, buddy.